All right. Hello, everyone. If anyone is there right now. Hey, Allie, we're live. Just to let you know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi,
Yes, I can hear. Kelsey, can you say something? Oh, yeah, I can hear everybody. Okay.
Okay. There we go.
That's a problem that happens to me a lot when doing these.
Yeah, that's right. Because when we did it on my birthday, you had to reconnect 3 times.
Yeah.
More like half a dozen times. It took forever. Hi.
Hi.
How's
Whoa.
everybody doing?
You all disconnected and came back. So
Oh.
Oh,
I can see you all now, so I think it's good.
Okay. 1 second.
But I'm doing good. How are you?
children.
Sorry, his video turned off.
Oh.
Video. So does everyone
That'll
want
do
to
it.
introduce themselves for anyone who's new here when they're watching the live stream afterward?
Yeah. Hi.
Start with Kelsey and go around.
Oh shit, sorry.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Kelsey. Wait, what do you want to know? My channel is Kelsey Rose.
There you go. Yeah. And Kelsey just hit 300 subscribers. I saw that.
I did?
Yeah.
You knew before I knew.
It said it when I checked it this morning. Yeah.
Sweet.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Oh, hi. I'm Rachel from Read with Rachel.
Also featuring her kids in the background.
Also my children. Maybe a cat. Who knows?
It's always a
6
surprise.
armadillos in trench coats. I'm Allie. I'm from Diagon Alley 394. I don't have any videos up. Might never will. Don't know.
Still sad about that.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
I mean, I
We'll
understand
see.
why you on some days you don't. I mean, on some days it is a pain in the ass, but
Yes.
also we love you.
It's not even that. It's just, I think
You
I'm
say
too
that
old
now. You say that now.
I legitimately, sometimes the book community, I'm like, I think I'm just too old for this. I think I've hit the age where I'm too old for all of this nonsense. So I don't know.
Too old or too tired? Because that's how I feel.
Both,
Yes.
but
Too tired.
yeah. Too old, too tired, too unfiltered. I'd probably end up canceled in the first week. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it depends on who you're canceled by, because I mean, many angry Stephen King fan have tried to cancel me already.
I would like
They don't count.
I would like to be canceled by that old guy who says that we wear too much makeup. I would like to be canceled by him.
He's not that bad. I talk to him on Twitter every night. I think he's really not that bad. I think he made one poor decision and he really felt bad about it.
I was gonna say,
I think he legitimately regretted that. And probably didn't even I don't know. He probably just doesn't know any girls our age. His name is Scott. I don't remember what his channel name is or anything, but I think his name is Scott, and I think he's in his late 30s, early 40s, and he made his first video was trash talking girls about wearing too much makeup. Hi, baby.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, sweet boy.
She's watching later. Everyone needs to know.
Okay. Oh, you see
now we
the
got a cat.
kitty? You see the kitty? You see a kitty, right?
Everyone's having visitors, and I'm home by myself.
Ghost,
So
what are you doing?
Zach, get a dog or something. Damn.
Oh my god, Ghost, he posed perfectly between those curtains.
He so did.
Oh yeah, frequently.
Camera
Every
ready.
single live show, I have to get up at least once to chase the cat because he's doing something he's not supposed to. So just a warning.
yeah,
There
that was
one time I forgot that I have Bluetooth headphones, so I just got up, and so I took the whole thing with me so everybody could hear me screaming at him because he jumped up and tried to pull the thermostat off the wall, and then he was also covered in poop. So you could just hear me screaming, "He's covered in..." Like it was just.
Yeah. Well, the funny part is, it was like mid sentence too, and then she just goes no, and just like disappears, and we're all just like, "Is everything okay?"
Everyone was like, "I guess Ghost did something again." It's always Ghost. Are you just gonna chill there until Daddy feeds you? So fine.
Guys, I have a sad announcement. Andy's canceled us. We're done, guys.
Do you want me to cancel you all? Oh, why?
Hey, Andy.
Why,
Congrats
Andy?
on 1K, buddy.
You're so delightful.
Yes, congratulations.
Hi,
Andy.
Dea.
Hi, Dea.
Yeah, he hit 1,000 today, right?
Yeah.
Did Andy hit that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Hitting the big
See,
1K.
Here's I've got 140 something and no videos. So if I reach 200, if you guys can get me to 200, I'll make a damn video.
Is that the challenge now? We have to boost your subscribers for you to post anything?
Well, that and somebody has to help me get video from this phone to a computer because that was the problem. I filmed the YouTube newbie tag and it's still trying to load onto Dropbox, and I did that a month ago.
Do you have just a charger you can hook up to your computer?
Yeah.
I just use my USB charging cord.
I don't have a Mac, so I don't know if it will do it.
You have an iPhone. I see.
You have an iPhone? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a PC and I copy it over.
And it works?
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that one. That one was trash.
It can.
Your newbie tag is supposed to be trash. It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at everyone's. Everyone's like super awkward. And...
My first.
But I've done it before.
It's gone. I have unlisted that shit. It was bad.
But I'm not even technically a newbie. I had a whole ass other channel.
True.
You're out of practice.
For half a year, and just it. Is it even still up? I don't even know if Broken the Bookstore is still there. I don't know if Sakoria's deleted it.
Not that long ago.
I want to say it is.
God.
I want to say it's still in my subscriptions list.
That's hilarious. That channel is deader than dead.
It's still up. Oh no, it says you guys don't have any content now.
Oh, so she privated the videos. Okay. Cool.
Good
That's what I
stuff.
wanted. I just haven't mentioned it to her because we're talking now, and I don't want to upset her by bringing it up.
Yeah.
They burn the bridge right after you rebuilt it.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. That's what
Just advice for everybody: don't make a channel with your best friend. It's not a good idea. Don't do it.
I really like the guy on my channel, much less the second person. Doesn't everyone have that when you're editing, though? Like, you get to a certain point in the video, you're just like, you and your stupid face need to get off my screen.
I am the most important person I know. And I know that because
Same. Well, I also have a husband, but he's not terribly annoying. He's just obnoxious like I am, so it's like a great pair.
It's a good match.
Our children are going to be demons.
mine too.
No, your kids are precious and they take baths in boxes.
That's true.
Wait, what? They take baths in boxes? I didn't hear this
Actual
one.
boxes. Not actual boxes.
They're like these plastic bins that are for storage, but my kids are like obsessed with them and think that that's like really cool to take them into the shower and fill them up with water and sit in them.
Aw, it's adorable.
It's easily the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
Kelsey, please feel free to tell us to shut up and jump in because we talk a lot.
I'm good. You're good.
We don't want to dominate the conversation.
Yeah, for anyone watching, I had Kelsey on an earlier stream, and I realized after I had invited everyone to that stream, it was Kelsey and like 4 youngins who like were technically adults but aren't really adults. So I was like, Kelsey, I feel like I need you back with adults this time.
How old are you, Kelsey?
I'm 29.
Oh, yay! Somebody close to my age.
Rachel, you're 29?
I'm 28. Well, I'll be 28 next month. I count it. I'm 28.
All right. Well, if we're going by that, I'm 30.
30.
30 years young.
I know.
I'm thriving.
Sorry.
I'll be
My
32
boyfriend just
in
gave me a look
November.
because he's 30. Sorry. 31. Oh, he's 31. Oops.
My
I
body's
frequently
22, but
have to
I have
ask.
the soul of like a 60-year-old. So
Yes, that's accurate.
True. I forget that my husband's 2.5 years younger than me. Like, sometimes I just tell people we're both 31, and he's like, I'm not even 30 yet. He was like, I just turned 29. Why are you doing this to me? I'm cool, you look older than me.
it's adorable.
People always think he's older. Like, nope. He's a 90s baby.
Yeah, I'm a 90s baby. What you got against 90s babies, huh?
All of you are 90s babies.
Yeah, so you better
Me
watch
and
it.
Kelsey, is your boyfriend 89? Is he born?
Yep.
See? 80s babies. We're the
Okay,
best.
But that's fudging a little bit. You were barely 80s.
I'm
Well,
88. I was
an
88,
Okay,
so I'm
that I'll count.
She's an 80s baby,
88.
not an 80s kid.
Yeah, I'm a 90s kid, but I was an 80s
Yeah.
baby.
Because that's what I say.
And
People,
it was,
I was gonna say
yeah, I was
people
only in the 80s for like a year because I was born in November.
people around my age are like, yeah, we're 90s kids. I'm like, really? Because like I'm a 2000s kid. You know,
I have
like,
a friend who was born in December of '89, and she's like, "I'm an '80s baby." I was like, "No, you're not. You're 2 weeks away from being born in 1990." God, Jeremy's brother was born in 1999. That's crazy to me.
My sister-in-law was born in 97, and like, it's so young. It's not, but it feels like it.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
It's weird to me that kids that were born in 1990 are turning 30. Like that's so bizarre to me. But
I feel like I hear 97. I'm like, shouldn't you not even be out of high school yet? And then I remember how old I am. Like, I'm a whole ass parent of 2 children. I'm like,
well, I'm
what?
glad to hear you're not a half-ass parent because I would be concerned if you said that.
Hi, Maddie.
What's up, Maddie?
Maddie!
Yeah, I was hoping. I was like, no one's commenting anything. We're gonna keep having weird conversations if no one asks to say anything. So that's someone
It's
here.
fine.
Chanel might pop in. She said she was gonna.
Yay! I love Chanel.
Oh, Chanel.
Hey.
How's your day, Maddie? You doing good? We're talking about being 80s and 90s babies up here.
Yes, we're all so old, except Zach.
80s baby. I'm the only one. Ghost. Did you see him, Rachel? He went.
Can we not do that?
But she said this.
Are we making people feel old?
Yes.
I just automatically feel old now. It's just I'm a perpetually tired
I'm
pigeon.
the mom of the group, even though I'm an actual mom. But
I was about to say I'm not even a parent. You're the parent, but I'm
allegedly.
Yeah, I'm the old lady. Ghost, you're looking like you're thinking about climbing those curtains, and you're not gonna do that. Thank you.
I didn't know I was older than you. Oh, that's so odd. No,
Thank you.
Somebody else be older than me.
94. Oh yeah. Because I'm a whole 10 years older than you, Zach. I forget sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like one of our first conversations because I was talking about liking Disturbed, and you were like, I said it was like the first album I bought, and you're like, I was in high school.
I was like, were you born when their first album came out?
I don't even remember when their first album should be.
2000. The Sickness came out in 2000. When I was like, that album is 20 years old. Oh my god. Don't quit licking my feet. Stop licking my feet. Thank you.
When you guys were in high school, what was popular music? Janelle and I were talking about this the other day.
Me?
Any of you? Yeah.
You go first.
I don't know what was cool, but I listened. It was like emo days. It was all emo all the time. Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance.
What?
all those things. Good Charlotte.
Oh, I love Good Charlotte.
I liked a band called Sugar Cult a lot. I listened to a lot of Sugar Cult.
I love Paramore.
Paramore was college. Paramore was popular when I was in college.
My sister was into Paramore when she like first entered high school. It was like the very end of their like height, so I really liked that. Yeah, Day and I were in the One Direction heyday.
One Direction?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They got
That's
big
my
when I
adulthood.
was in middle school, and then in high school was like the end of their big thing. I was actually in Wawa today, and they played "Shut Up and Dance," and that was like huge. Junior going into senior year of high school for me. I love that song. It's like the one good song from high school that I remember.
What is that One Direction?
No, it's Walk the Moon. They're like a one-hit wonder now.
Walk the Moon. I love them. That's what I thought. But I was like, is there another One Direct? Is there another song called that?
I think Trap was becoming big when I was graduating. So I was never really
Trapped
in.
was like high school for me, I think. The one song by them.
What?
They were like a one-hit wonder. Trapped?
No,
T-R-A-P-T?
not the band Trapped. I'm talking trap music,
Oh.
the subgenre of rap.
Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm old.
Well, Maddie, that makes sense.
Hoobastank.
We're 4 years apart. It would have been my high school, your college. So, Hoobastank. I really like "Crawling in the Dark" is a great song, but
That's
I'm
the
like
only good song.
I'm like the only person who doesn't like the song "The Reason." Like everyone else loves that song. And I'm like, oh god,
no.
this song again.
Incubus.
I like Incubus's first couple albums a lot.
Yeah, they're good. Lifehouse and Switchfoot, all the Christian bands that were on
like
the
Christian
pop
revival
radio.
that happened.
Oh my god.
Back when I was a Christian. So
Okay.
I was really into Christian music too, and like Christian rock, the subgenre, you know?
Yes.
And there's this band called This Beautiful Republic. I
Yes.
don't know if you know them. So they're from Toledo. So we
Have a
saw
good night,
them
Andy.
a bunch of times.
Bye, Andy.
Hi.
Where Toledo?
Uh-huh.
Did you say? One of my best friends is from Toledo, or that area, I think.
Yes, do you know where?
Oh, what is it?
I think you told me about Dorothy, Maddie, but I haven't had the chance to listen
What
to
is
them.
the
I have never heard of that.
Sandusky? She's
Sandusky. That's a little like northeast. That's like where Cedar Point is. It's on the lake.
yeah. She's really. They were really close to the Michigan line. Like they had to drive like an hour or so to get to Detroit. So.
Yep.
Or something like that. She was
Hi,
way up
Yumi.
there. Yumi.
Hey,
We are all required to look up Dorothy, okay? So
yeah, I'm just gonna probably look at those.
Dorothy, did she sing that once? The Missile? Is that one of her songs? Their songs?
Maddie, I want to say they're like similar to Hailstorm, I think is what Maddie told me, if I'm thinking of the right group.
If I'm thinking of the right artist, then I think I like one of their songs.
There
Yeah,
we go.
that's them.
Hey,
Huzzah.
Iggy. How's it going?
Hey.
We're talking about music.
Hey.
Talking about what music was popular in high school. If you and Yumi want to drop what you remember being big.
Okay, so in my high school, there were only two different kinds of popular music: rap and a sub area of that where girls were really obsessed with Chris Brown. Or you went to the beach and you listened to Jack Johnson. That's it. And I listened to like Bring Me the Horizon and August and Red and Peach Rose and I were dating. And I was like,
I did like
not like either of those. Like dream rock. And we got super made fun of for that. Because
I liked Bring Me the Horizon.
there are only two things you listen to, either rap or Jack Johnson. That's it.
Hello, Alex. We got
Hi.
Panic at the Disco. I remember them getting
Panic at
big.
the Disco was college for me.
That was
was
high school
childhood
for
for
me.
me.
But for some reason, in my high school, we like strongly pitted Fall Out Boy against Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
You could only like one.
Oh,
And I was
Even though they're
both
on the
Fall Out
same
Boy,
label,
so-
they're friends, aren't they?
That's
Yeah,
weird.
they're friends in real life. So
It was like,
I
yeah,
don't know where
fake
it
beef.
came from.
That's weird. I guess it would have technically been high school for me because I was supposed to graduate in 2007, but I graduated in 2006, so it was probably high school, but not for me. Our high school had two major groups too, rap and country.
This one makes me
Yeah.
laugh because a lot of the time when people talk about music, they're like, I listen to anything but rap and country. So everyone who likes rap and country apparently went to Chelsea's high school.
Yeah.
I like
That's
country.
funny. Now they're like, I listen to country music, and now it's like you listen to country and rap. Like I go to a
Yep.
music festival every summer, and if you're not at the concert, they're listening to rap in the campgrounds. Like I don't know why.
No,
I like
I listen to a lot of country. I'm from Texas, so that's kind of the law. Like it's
Yeah.
in your blood.
I like
So,
older
yeah, I listen
country, like
country.
the stuff my dad's into because he grew up with parents that love country music. Newer country, I can't get into it. And someone pointed out to me, and I can't unsee it, that modern country is basically rap by rednecks. Because if you think to it, they're both really into their cars. With rappers, it's like sports cars, and with country people, it's their trucks with
Ghost.
big mud tires and lift kits. And then
Why?
they sing about women. It's just either country women or some girl in the club, depending on what
Ghost,
genre
no.
you're listening to.
There's
They're
like
the same thing.
there's definitely subgenres though. Like that's bro country for sure.
I'm talking about the mainstream
Yes.
stuff on the radio, not like
Yeah,
all of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Florida Georgia Line and frickin' what's his name? Brentley,
Bryan.
Bentley.
Oh, Brantley Gilbert. Yeah.
Brantley Gilbert, yeah, him. And didn't Jason Aldean try to rap once?
Oh my god, he did.
My mom likes that song. Man, I was a weird girl. See, that was me in high school. Like I listened to pretty much everything, but I only admitted to listening to like the emo or the metal stuff, like Korn and Slipknot and Disturbed.
Oh,
Betray
new
you.
metal's, I love new metal, even though a lot of people think it aged poorly. But Maddie, this is a good point.
Tractors when I'm listening to rap.
What do you have against
Fair.
tractors, Maddie?
Claudio's up here at 4 a.m.
Claudio.
Thanks for being here, boy.
What? Dang. You're still in high school.
Yeah.
Wow.
For, Iggy and Alex in the comments were talking about ska. Do either of you listen to Real Big Fish? I don't know if anyone else knows who that is, but it's a band I love.
do.
But I had a
I've listened to them a little bit. Not ska's not my favorite thing.
I've seen
But I
them
know
live
who Real Big
4
Fish is.
times. So, and I will happily see them a 5th time if they come back. I love that band.
Wow.
Yeah.
I-
My
My Chemical Romance.
Romance.
Okay, I'm
listen
still
to it.
really okay. My Chemical Romance finally postponed their tour, so I was supposed to see them in September of this year, and it's not going to happen until September of next year.
No.
I know.
I'm heartbroken for you.
My husband wants to go see them so bad, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready to relive all those memories.
So good. Ooh, Chelsea said 30 Seconds to Mars. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I did really like
Yes.
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Used. I still listen to The Used a lot. Their new album's pretty good. I love The Used. Oh my god.
Yumi, please listen to them. They're great.
What about Papa Roach? I listened to Papa Roach and like Avenged Sevenfold.
Yes. Yep,
For a
both
while.
of those things. Scream by Avenged Sevenfold. That's my favorite song by them. It's such a
Avenged
good
Sevenfold.
song. I still like that.
They're
that
great,
song.
yeah.
Oh, and Dear God's a good one too. It's just weird coming from them. But I loved Papa Roach because, yeah, clearly the emo kid. And Tool in a Perfect Circle. I really liked them. Still do. I still listen to them.
Tool's one of those bands I just kind of missed the bus on. I haven't really sat down to listen to them ever.
Oh man, Maynard's brilliant. I could go on and on. There's an Australian band that I like. I think they're Australian, called Architect. They're pretty good.
Architect?
Yeah, I like them.
Thinking back of like the rock bands everyone loves that I miss is like Tool and Radiohead are like the big two I remember. Like never really getting
Radiohead's
into.
okay. Not Nirvana.
Did you guys listen to Silverstein?
Yep, of course,
I didn't.
of
Okay,
course.
so one time, Crows and I went to a show. We were still in high school, out of high school. I don't know. Sometime we've been together a long time. Who knows? So we went to a show and we left early because the band that we wanted to see played, and Silverstein played, and then we didn't want to see the headliner, so we leave. And the lead singer, of Silverstein, is outside, and he just walks up and he asked for a lighter. We were like, "That's it." Yeah, we did.
What?
We went and saw Silverstein, August Burnside, and A Day to Remember, and we'd already seen it.
I like A Day to Remember.
Yeah, we'd already.
You didn't want to see A Day to Remember.
Well, it just got so fucking crowded because everybody started getting really into A Day to Remember at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we've already seen them. We want to go get food. We out.
Yeah, I love A Day to Remember.
Yeah, we really love them. We still listen to them and Silverstein and August Burnside, but oh man, those shows get so fucking disgustingly crowded because they're in these little tiny like event places, and people get so fucking sweaty. And once the headliner comes on, you're either in it and you're gonna take a shower right when you got home, or you're leaving before and you're gonna go get some food and peace out because.
Yeah. Were you in Ohio at this point? Or were you in Florida now?
Florida. I moved from Ohio when I was like a baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Carlos lived there until he was like 9, and we met in high school. So.
Oh, okay.
That is so wild that you both are from, like, you moved from Ohio to Florida.
Good thing, right?
When we talked about Ohio
Cute.
last, you made it sound like you like had memories of there, like you'd grown up there. That's why I asked.
I feel like I do, but I'm not sure if that's real or if that's like from my parents telling me the same stories over and over again. Yeah, so.
Kelsey has memories of Ohio.
So many. Too many.
Are you from there? Like, is that where you were, like,
Yep.
have you always lived in Ohio? Yeah.
Yep. I've always lived in the same city, Perrysburg, just outside of Toledo. But I went to college in Findlay for 1 year, which is somehow worse than Toledo. It's so small and deserted. They have a mall with only one store open at Delia's.
I've been to a mall like that.
And then I worked at a coffee shop that no one ever went to because it was on this like deserted side of town. Ridiculous. It's tiny and miserable.
Since you're
Also, the University of Findlay is a private school with a big equestrian program, and there were a lot of horse people.
Horse people.
Yes, so there was like a huge number of people super into horses, and then a huge number of foreign exchange students from Japan because they had like a very specific exchange program. So I was there as an art student, very confused.
This is the most Ohio shit I've ever heard.
That is the most random, like, that's like there's a border town, like, I think it's Laredo, that has a very big Korean population. Like, that's so random. You're so close to Mexico. There's all the Koreans there. I was like, that's so weird. But
My school in Tampa had a lot of
Kelsey,
Chinese.
so, huh?
So my school in Tampa had a lot of Chinese because we had a Confucius.
Yeah, but that's Tampa. Like, that's a big school. Like, I get that.
Yeah, but it's also very far away from China.
I think my friend Yvonne told me about a story that recently was happening in Ohio. Do you know anything about the murder barn?
Murder
Because it was
Barn.
close to Murder
No.
Barn.
I don't
Damn.
know Murder Barn.
Are you sure this is real, not
Never
an
mind.
urban legend?
No, it's like, she showed me news articles. Like, her little town, like, that she's from, I don't remember if she said she grew up in Toledo and then moved to Sandusky, or if it's the other way around. Like, I don't remember. But her little town is, like, weird. You should Google Leavenworth. Y'all should Google.
Just gonna Google
Oh,
Murder
Leavenworth,
Barn
Washington.
real quick. Dude, the creator of Supernatural is from Toledo, if you didn't know that. I only have so many cool Toledo facts, so...
I did not know that. That's awesome.
There are a bunch of episodes of, like, Toledo Easter eggs, and there's one episode that's set in Toledo, and it's the... What's the one where you, like, stand in the mirror and turn the lights off? And
Bloody Mary?
Bloody Mary?
Bloody Mary. The Bloody Mary episode is set in Toledo.
That's hilarious. And random. You can't just say Murder Barn while I'm here and not okay. So her town just has a bunch of weird shit that goes on in it. Like, it's just a very... Huh?
Was it Kirtland?
I don't know. But it, like, there was a guy that they caught, like, he murdered people, I guess, and they opened his, like, they found in his barn that he had, like, a torture chamber, essentially, in his barn, and, like...
Yes. Okay, so apparently this happened in Pike County. Are we a true crime podcast now?
I guess we are.
No.
Are we looking at the same thing? Is this Jeffrey Lundgren that you're
Yes,
saying?
that's what this says.
Yikes.
He
He murdered people, I guess.
This is kind of a binary. He either did or he didn't.
I don't normally talk about stuff like this. It normally makes me uncomfortable, but the murder barn is just too much.
You should write. Allie's a writer. You should definitely write a murder book and call it "He Murdered People."
The murder barn. He murdered people, I guess. That's the tagline. He murdered people, I guess. And the title of the book is called Murder Barn.
That's just the plot of Pretty Girls, though.
I'm never reading that book.
Don't know.
Never.
Murder Barn does sound exactly like Pretty Girls.
Yeah, it basically is. When it was like Murder Garage, but close enough.
I didn't read it, but your video put me off from reading any Karen Slaughter.
Oh yeah.
I read The Good Daughter, and I had nightmares, so I was like, nah. Pass.
I did like The Good Daughter. I think it was better than Pretty Girls and less disgusting.
Yeah. Hopefully with less racism too.
Yeah. Less racism.
Hmm?
When can you for less racism?
Yeah.
No, I started listening to Pretty Girls, and then I was like, nah, this is an anxiety attack waiting to happen. I'm not doing this to myself. And I just send it back to the library. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, honestly, like, when Kat picked that for Paper Cut, it was just like I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it, but everyone talks about it being like the most extreme thriller, so I more or less read it just to see if I could. And it was kind of like, okay, I can. I never want to do this again. So, like, that was my whole experience.
I listened to it. It wasn't really a thriller. It was more just like a fucked up Southern story. And it was called The Roanoke Girls. I was like, this is the weirdest shit I have ever read in my life. This is
I want to say I've heard of that one too.
Yeah,
that one I think is brought up too.
Did it have to do with the actual Roanoke legend? Because I am obsessed with that.
No, of course not. I wanted it to, but no. It's set on this like big piece of land. Like this family's really rich, and they called their farm or ranch or whatever Roanoke. That's why it's the Roanoke Girls, and it's all about incest.
Ooh boy, Maddie, is this for Good Daughter or is this for Pretty Girls?
Or the Roanoke Girls.
Yeah, or Roanoke. Yeah, what book was just okay?
Don't read the Roanoke Girls. It's jacked up.
I was gonna tell
I
her.
am assuming a child needed something.
Damn children.
But her kids are so cute, though.
No, I know.
I had to turn off the TV. I was sick of listening to that.
I shut the door. My mom's watching a murder show. So I like to shut the door.
A murder, I guess.
He murdered people, I guess. Pretty Girls haven't. Oh, read Good Daughter.
Yeah. Rachel, I was going to say, I find the Roanoke thing really interesting, too, because I learned about it in 8th grade.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I hate unsolved mysteries, and by hate, I mean I love them, but they annoy me. And
That need for closure is killer, right?
Yes, that's the one that I'm like, what happened? Somebody, please. I like look up like theories and shit. I get so into it.
I think they pretty much settled on what they think probably happened. It's just, nobody was there to tell the tale afterwards, but they think it was probably, well, I was interested in the Roanoke girl. I'm so sorry. Did I do it again?
Why?
It's
if you
weird.
You saved her from a bad reading experience, what are you sorry for?
Well, because I said it has to do with incest, and that's probably like a spoiler.
No, Allie, that is not a spoiler. That's a trigger warning, and that's just she doesn't want to do it.
Yep.
Don't. It's weird. If you like weird shit, then maybe read it. But if you don't like weird shit, don't do it to yourself.
Okay, do we have any snacks though? Oh shit, sorry.
It's okay.
What time is it?
It's 10 o'clock for Eastern.
We live in a different time zone.
God damn it. I'll be right back.
Okay. Bye.
Hey, Jer!
I'm so jealous of your goldfish. I want a snack.
So, these are not goldfish, but they're called bags.
Oh.
Milano.
Yes, it's our snack.
She's bougie.
I did finish the goldfish today, though. Flavor blasted because...
You just picked those up and it summoned me back. Like I could feel them from Florida. I had to remind Jeremy to feed our child. Which, I mean, the cat. Wait, what is Roanoke?
So for anyone who doesn't know, Roanoke was like the first major expedition to America, and they settled there, and they sent some people back to get supplies, and when they came back, there was no trace of it.
Gone.
Yeah.
The only thing left, the only thing that they could find that was a clue was the word, wasn't it Croatoan?
Croatoan.
Yeah.
What?
And they did a whole episode of Supernatural about it, but yeah.
I did one of Sleepy Hollow too, if I remember correctly.
Probably. Disappeared.
Yeah.
And wrote Croatoan on it. Yeah. Disappeared. What probably happened, I totally don't want to read incest. I love weird shit, but incest is a no-go. Same, Chelsea. Who wants to do that? But what they think happened is like either because there was no evidence of like a slaughter, there was no bodies or anything.
I would say that was the thing, was they didn't find any bodies, so like nothing makes sense, because if they starved, it should have been there. If they were attacked, they should have been there. If there was disease, they should have been there. Like there should have been bodies, but they couldn't find anything.
They probably left. Like they probably had no choice but to leave, obviously for some reason, survival probably being the one. And I think that what they've decided is probably what happened is that they integrated with the native tribes that were there, is that they kind of just, because they're at like later on when more colonizers came in, they said that some of the tribes around there had white looking people. And where else did they come from,
Who knows?
Who knows? For all we know, Melissa De La Cruz came up with the reason, and it was vampires.
Jesus.
But no. That's what that stupid ass series Blue Bloods was about.
I know. I
never read that crap.
I want to say it was an island off Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah, so just off the United States mainland. But has anyone else seen wrong one? American Horror Story? I watched the first season.
Only the first 3.
Nope.
I watched the first one and I enjoyed it. I just never went on with it. But I love Evan Peters, and I know he's on like a bunch of the seasons, so I'll have to go back and watch them. But
Jeremy watched a little bit of it. But he told me I'd throw up if I watched it, so I've not watched it.
I mean, I don't quite know what makes you throw up, so I'm just gonna say
anything
listen
worse
to your
than
husband.
Game of Thrones. Anything worse than Game of Thrones is gonna make Game of Thrones makes me gag,
I
but it
don't
didn't
have
make
a
me
frame
throw
of
up.
reference. I never watched it.
Well, it gets bloody. I have a real weak stomach, so that's why I'm devastated that I'm never gonna watch the TV show Hannibal. But I was told by 3 different people, no, you'll vomit a lot. And I was like, never mind.
Did you watch The Walking Dead?
What?
The Walking Dead?
I watched the first few seasons.
I watched season 1 and never felt any desire to continue.
I
Once
watched
it got
till, like,
to
season 6 or something. I don't remember.
See,
But then it just got weird, and I was like,
that's
Yeah.
this is the entertaining part for me, because like I was going to high school during the heyday of The Walking Dead, so like every few months and every like year they would start talking about it, and a new person in my friend group would drop off. So it's like watching the show go from like everyone was watching it but me to like most people to like some people, and eventually by the time I graduated, like no one cared anymore. There's just this
I think
gradual just dive.
I quit when Michonne showed up.
I do love Michonne.
When
I
the
quit after the first season with Negan.
Same.
with Papa Winchester.
I
Hannibal
have
makes me
several questions,
Me
Yumi.
too.
Okay, we're gonna move right along.
fava beans.
Ew.
You can't just say and not do
My
the sound.
parents let me watch that when I was little. It traumatized me, I swear.
Allie, you got to do the noise.
That's all. I can't do it. I tried.
No, honestly, the attempt was more entertaining than if you had just done it good. So, you're all good.
It was embarrassing. It's fine.
Oh, Once Upon a Time. This was another one because I didn't even watch like a season of that. This was another one that like all my friends just slowly dropped off. Like
I
being in
quit when my
Orlando with
favorite
all the
character
Disney
died
kids.
in like episode 8.
Yeah.
My favorite character died in like episode 8, so I quit.
I
Every
don't
episode.
remember. I
I've
watched
seen
like
it.
1.5 seasons, but I don't really remember what happened, and I don't know why I stopped.
Well, being from Orlando, like there's a bunch of Disney kids in high school, so like everyone was obsessed with it when it first started. And I just remember by like season 3 or 4, one of my friends said something, and everyone else went, "You still care?" Just, like it's such a jerk thing to say, but it was so funny just for everyone just to be unanimously like, "We're done."
God, when I was in high school, I think, I was like the Buffy generation. So Buffy and Angel and One Tree Hill and Dawson's Creek and all of those WB shows. I live 20 minutes away from where Storybrooke is in real life. Tight.
The one show I watched that was popular in high school, I watched Breaking Bad. I watched it. I binged it on
I refuse to
Netflix
watch
until the
those shows.
last half season, and then watched the last half season air and got to see the finale live, which was perfect. And now I'm like
I did
scared to
that with
watch a
Lost.
series ever again because I'm like, I had a show end on a good note, and I've heard too many horror stories from people like you who watch Lost. I was like, I can't risk it,
No,
man.
I loved Lost. I loved all of it. I loved the ending. I love Lost.
You are the only person I've ever heard say that.
I have
Really?
never say that.
Yes,
Yep.
I swear to God,
So
you're the first
good.
person. Everyone else, like, you bring up Lost, and they like start having flashbacks, like they have to sit down and like take deep breaths.
No.
And you're like,
It was so
are you
good.
okay?
I binged it and I caught up like the day before the finale aired live, and I got to watch it live with the world, and everybody lost their minds except me and my boyfriend at the time. We were like, this is brilliant, and everyone else is like, this is awful. We were like, but why?
Okay, that happened to me with Breaking Bad.
What?
I got caught up. Yeah, I got caught up, and I watched, and I was like, that wasn't a bad finale at all. Now thinking back on it, I'm like, what? Bitch, what?
I loved the ending of Breaking Bad. What are you talking about?
I did not.
I didn't.
Never watched it.
Here's the thing. Yeah, it wasn't the happiest ending. I couldn't imagine it ending any other way.
That's how I felt about Lost.
Yeah. Yes, but also I just ended up hating Walter so much more as time went on than I realized I ever would, and I kind of wish that more justice would have been had. Like, that little fucker got away with it, basically. And then he, like, goes to his wife and he's like, I don't regret anything. I did it all because I wanted to. Like, you did what? You asshole.
But to me, that was the point of the show, was watching someone, like that's the point of a character study a lot of the times, is watching someone, the rise and fall. So it made sense for him to end as a kind of horrible person. Like, I agree with you, he was not a good person, but like, also to me, I was like, okay, yeah, there you go.
Well, from what I've understood about that character is he started with good intentions. He did bad things with good intentions, and then eventually the things that he was doing kind of corrupted his moral
they ate him
character.
alive.
Like, he kind of just became this... I have no interest in watching that show. I don't like watching shows about drugs and stuff.
Oh my gosh, we can talk.
But let's talk about Game of Thrones. I'm so mad about... Okay, listen. Don't talk about Game of Thrones. I'm still broken. Listen.
I'm so...
Yeah, I'm still bitter.
I would never forgive them.
I didn't see the last season. Zach, you haven't watched it, have you?
Nope, not a single episode.
Zach,
I stopped after season 3, I think.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I had a lot of people start it, love it, and then just stop. But I always do this impression of my friends doing Game of Thrones, okay? This is why I never watched or read or wanted to of Game of Thrones, okay?
Books are so
you ask
good.
the Game of Thrones fans, why should I watch the show you love so much, right? And they go, well, Game of Thrones is such a great show. They have all these great characters that you become really attached to, even though you know because of the plot that only one of them can survive, but you get attached anyway, and it hurts so bad, and they keep getting killed, and you keep attaching yourself. And you go, I don't know if I'm down for that. And they go, but it's such a good show. You should watch it. No.
Okay. Here's my Game of Thrones pitch.
You save your breath, Allie.
It's not, but the show, like, what draws you in, yes, everyone dies. Not everyone, but most everyone. But the thing that draws you in is, yes, it's about the characters, but it's also not. So the characters are what everybody gets attached to, but the reason he does what he does, like, I am not, if anybody hasn't watched this except Zach, plug your ears, because Zach got Game of Thrones commentary on. Yeah. So it's all about that emotional manipulation, baby. You are not wrong.
Yep.
So the character Ned Stark, when you read the first book, you immediately think this is the setup for him to be the main character throughout the rest of the series. That's how he's set up. And then Martin kills him because he's trying to illustrate this isn't about the story isn't about the characters. The story is about these houses. It's about the Game of Thrones, and it's about who is going to end up on the Iron Throne, and everybody else is like
expendable
cannon fodder, essentially. Like, yeah. And if you want, and I will say that if you want the bad guys to get their comeuppance, they do. But so do, but lots of good people die too.
Rachel.
They do!
Did they?
Okay, not in the way that was satisfying. So listen, I have an idea of how to fix the entire last season. I know what should have happened. Of me telling people to read stuff that I love, but yeah, Chelsea, exactly.
Thank you.
Okay.
I pride myself on my acting ability, Chelsea, so I appreciate that.
Zach, we need more skits on your channel.
I don't want to steal
You
A.G.
need-
McDonald's thing, though. That's his thing.
What?
Yeah,
I
but
did-
his are animated.
I did a skit one time.
Skip
I'll think
one
about
time.
it. That's my big one because like Game of Thrones was so big, like in high school and college, that like I refined that act over like years. So I'd have to like think of what I'd want to do a skit for. So, but I mean, maybe one day.
So
But-
who is everybody? Everybody has a favorite character of Game of Thrones. Well, I mean, you do it first until you realize that having a favorite character is there's no point. And did your favorite character survive?
Yes.
Is what I want to know.
Ghost.
Your favorite Tyrion? Who?
Ghost.
Oh, the dog ghost. Your favorite character was Cersei. I am so sorry,
Yeah.
Maddie.
What the? What?
Yes, there is so much more. The world is so rich. Jon Snow.
Jon Snow is such a good character.
Maddie, you and me, let's do a live one day where we just talk Game of Thrones, please, because I need somebody in my life who will pick this apart with me. Like, I need it.
In the comments.
My favorite characters were already dead at the start.
My favorite character is Peter Dinklage because
Oh,
Peter
God,
Dinklage.
Aaron.
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
That's Tyrion Lannister, and I have some good news for you, Zach.
I just say that
Mine is
because like,
Hound.
Maddie, you're muted, or Kelsey, you're muted. There you go.
My favorite character was Arya. She made it, right?
Yep, Arya made it.
Okay.
You got Peter Dinklage?
Peter Dinklage?
What?
Nice.
Jealous.
Goodness.
I bet he's cool. I bet he's hilarious. On every interview, everything I've ever seen of him, he's freaking hysterical. My favorites were the Hound and Jaime Lannister because they had the strongest redemption arcs, and then they ruined it. They walked back everything. They fucking ruined those characters. Pissed me right off. Peer pressured me to watch Game of Thrones. Really, I'm so sorry.
That's the fun of like university is like you get some cool professors in there. I mean, you also have some like absolutely awful ones, but I had some cool professors that were like that. They'd be like, "You should watch this." Like one of my professors taught a horror movie class, and like would recommend horror movies to us. Yeah, unfortunately, I never got to take that class, but because it was an honors course, and so I just didn't have the time to take it. But yeah,
I went to Bible college, so there was nothing like that.
but you guys didn't debate on like what the best VeggieTales episode was or something.
Oh God, I had to hear so much about VeggieTales.
I can tell you what.
Everybody there grew up with VeggieTales, and I was like, "What the fuck is VeggieTales?"
I certainly did. What was the
I
other
still
one?
sing, "Oh, where is my hairbrush?" when I'm looking for my hairbrush.
I know the pirates that don't do anything. Like I've watched some of it, but
The cheeseburger
I-
song is the ultimate VeggieTales song.
I love my lips.
Yes.
I get that one stuck in my head for like no reason at the randomest times.
Yes.
the cheeseburger song, though,
Yes.
everybody knows.
It slaps, Sally. Okay.
Bible college. What? Oh, you didn't know that, Maddie? I went to Bible college. I did. I need a cheeseburger. I need a cheeseburger. Okay, that sounds familiar.
Rank your favorite.
Rank your
veggies.
fave veggies. From VeggieTales?
I was gonna say we were
idea.
talking about from VeggieTales because like I think everyone's gonna say Larry.
Larry
Like-
December.
I
Yeah.
don't remember
Who
their
the
names.
tomato?
I like the tomato.
Bob
Not
was
the
the tomato.
Bob. Okay, I like the cucumber. From the like 2 episodes I've ever seen, like
If you're talking real life veggies, I guess green beans are my favorite. The ones I mind eating the least. Peas and green beans.
oh man, peas, corn. I really like roasted cauliflower,
Mm.
broccoli. Okay, but tomato dude is.
That's why I love the
That's
tomatoes.
I just want to take a moment. We just used the term Sassmaster in a discussion about VeggieTales. I love doing these. Why these streams are awesome. Where's my hairbrush haunts me?
Haunts me because I didn't grow up with it. My ex would sing it regularly.
Aw.
Yeah, my husband grew up with VeggieTales, so he I don't know if he even liked it though. I'd have to ask him.
Thank you,
You're
Maddie.
welcome.
It was like a whole last event when the VeggieTales Jonah movie happened. And
Oh
like,
yeah,
sure-
I remember
oh, yeah.
that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
How did we
All
go
the
from
hype.
Game of Thrones to VeggieTales? That's the biggest jump that I think. Like, what
We
was even the
How did we get
segue
there?
there?
are, and not a single one of us has mentioned a fucking book. What?
So what's everyone reading?
I've read Game of Thrones. Don't ask questions, Ellie. Just go with it. I've read Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones are books.
I meant recently, not just in general. If we're just talking about books we've read ever, we're gonna be here a while. So
I'm reading a book on periods.
I'm still reading Agatha Christie, which I was supposed to be done with by now, but then work happened.
I haven't. Weren't you texting us about that like 3 weeks ago?
No, like a
Oh.
week and a half ago.
Wow.
Not that far. I'm
Listen.
slow. I'm not that slow.
I've been at home with these kids for 3 months, so my concept of time is just.
Yeah. From VeggieTales through a book. The Bible.
Thank you,
I
Claudia.
read that. I had to read that whole thing in Bible college. I have
Maddie,
not
that is a
finished
struggle.
a book.
I think I've finished one thing this month, and it was a graphic novel.
I've only finished like 2 or 3 things this month.
I'm just so slow, and it's driving me nuts to keep hopping from book to book. I'm like, just finish one. Just finish one book.
What are you reading, Kelsey?
I finished a book last night, Sovereign by April Daniels, but it's a sequel to Dreadnought. Do you know it?
Oh.
Yeah.
I liked the
Okay.
sequel better than the first one. So.
DNF
Rip
graphic
Maddie.
novels into this.
Oh gosh, that's tough. Yumi, what did you think of the Savage Song? Have any of you read it?
I
Yep.
read it,
Oh,
yeah.
I read it a while ago. I thought it was okay.
Rachel,
I
you
love
haven't read
it.
Victoria Schwab?
I've never read anything by Victoria Schwab.
I love her. You gotta start with
I
Villains.
know.
Yeah, Vicious.
I
So
haven't
good.
read Vicious yet.
That's my
I
favorite.
have it. I haven't read it.
We can add it to the list of things that we'll buddy read, and then we'll get around to it in 6 months.
Yeah, I'm down for a reread. I need a comfort read so bad.
Ooh, yay, yes.
Let's do it. We need. Oh, Vicious. Is Vicious. Yumi, is Vicious one of our books for the month, or was it going to be a traveling book? Am I allowed to read it before? Is the question. Read Vicious.
Thank you,
I
Maddie.
mean, Maddie says read Vicious.
Thank you, Yumi.
Vicious is the best. Vicious is one of my all-time
I love all this
favorites.
backup.
I need to read it. I mean, it's V.E. Schwab. I'm gonna adore it. I love her. She's so pretty. Vicious is a traveling book, and we're suspending those. So I'm gonna read it. Thanks, COVID-19.
I have the first 2 Darker Shades books, and I have not read them, and I've owned them for like way too long.
I love
Oh,
those
you said
two.
Darker Shades. I thought you said 50 Shades for a second, and I was like,
No. Relax, Sally. Relax.
I was about to be like, why? Why are we doing this? Like,
No, I don't-
we must save Zach.
Look, I like good content. I'm not that desperate yet.
I would pay to watch a video where you just read 50 Shades of Grey's worst scenes. Like, I really would.
I would love
Like,
that.
if that was like a charity thing, I'd donate to that. Just you reading the smuttiest, dirtiest stuff from that book.
Should get a cup. I'm
Have
not
you
doing
seen-
this again, Maddie. I was gonna say
Vampire
get a couple booktubers on, and like I don't know if you've ever seen this, where they'll read at like conventions. They'll read like Star Wars scripts, but in cartoon character voices. So just
Oh
have
my
like a bunch of
God.
booktubers do a funny voice and read 50 Shades.
There are definitely videos. either videos on YouTube or podcast episodes with Gilbert Gottfried reading scenes from 50 Shades.
I think I've heard. I think I've seen a YouTube. Chanel. Is she really? Are you really?
I saw her tweet. She's talking about Christian Grey, and he's like, "Oh, Anna, with your pasty, milky white skin, white." Oh my gosh, this book is so cringy.
So bad. The reason that I read it is because I was in Bible college and people were talking about, like, don't read this book. It's so bad. So what did I immediately go do? I immediately went and read it. Of course I did. And I was like, this is trash. I'm going to read book 2 and 3. I did.
What?
Oh, God.
The cast videos on those are so
Yeah, I'm sad she never got to the third one, but that's funny.
I need to watch them.
The same, except they get so fucking wacky with like
outrageous, like super outrageous shit happening.
I've watched reviews of the movie, so like I know what happens.
There's like guns and car chasers and
That's the thing, like I know so much about them. I've
A helicopter crash.
Yeah, read everything but the sex scenes.
I forgot about the helicopter crash.
The helicopter. Oh no!
How could you forget Jack Hyde, fiction editor, sabotages the helicopter?
God. So when the movie came out, me and a friend went to see it, and like it was, we laughed the whole time. So college people, the Gilbert Gottfried version is so good.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I keep hearing about the scene, and
Get past the tampon scene.
and I never know what the whole story is because no one will actually like ever say it. So like, at least if I read it, I know what this means.
I'll tell you right now. They're about to do it. She's on her period, and he just yanks that thing out and goes to town. That's exactly what happened.
Okay. I was expecting something a lot weirder than that, but
literally reading a period book. Like I'm not like weirded out by period. I'm just weirded out by him being like, "Let me just yank this sucker right out." And
but the thing
that made me hurt.
They make it sound so sexy in the book, and you're like, it's not. It's really
uncomfortable. It's that made me like, I was like, my vagina hurts now. Like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to a person? I have sympathy pains for you because ouch, that didn't feel good. I promise you that didn't feel good to her.
no, the inner goddess is letting her get through the pain, Allie.
Oh my God, the inner goddess! It's so absurd. That's what started coming. Oh my God!
Mystery solved. Yeah, you have a really good idea for a horror book. Go at it.
What if it gets stuck? Listen, it didn't. It was supposed to be, but it's just so creepy. It is creepy. Christian Grey is creepy.
And despite that disgustingness, E.L. James made so much fucking money, and I'm over here like, bitch, how do I get some money? What creepy, disgusting shit do I need to write?
From a Twilight fan fiction. Some bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
You just gotta write with a write a BDSM story with no understanding of BDSM or how it works. That's how you get all the money.
And then fucking Anna Todd goes and writes after, and she's just like updating her Wattpad while she's in line at the grocery store, and now she's rolling in money. What am I doing wrong? Where's my money?
You have to write incredibly abusive stories, Rachel. That's it.
Damn me for writing trying to write a decent book. Ships will never make any money because it's a freaking damn. I should have made Luke and Haley real toxic. Penis vagina fade to black.
PG-13 BDSM, baby.
Penis vagina slap 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 fade to black.
I saw this, Maddie.
Fictional abuses. Oh my god, I saw that comment earlier. I saw that. He's right.
Oh, Chanel, please do a review. It's so bad.
My kids are going bonkers because I'm wearing headphones and they don't know why I'm on sodium over here.
We put my kid to sleep. He didn't think we were that funny, I guess.
Made a bad review on Twitter. I'm going to wake up to a comment. This was a boring show.
I'm pretty sure Jeremy heard me shouting about 50 Shades of Grey and he immediately put his headphones in like, no.
I mean, I don't blame him. Like, I'd just be like, nope, not today.
I went and saw 2, or did I see 3 of them in theaters because they're so fucking funny. It's like watching a comedy that wasn't supposed to be a comedy.
Well, that's, yeah, the best,
They're,
like, so bad it's
they're
good
not
movies.
supposed to be funny.
I actually
But
saw
they're funny.
After in theaters. I went by myself, and I was just like, why the fuck not?
To see what?
So...
Why?
I just wanted to be by myself. I was like, hey, I'm going to peace out and go see a movie. And that was like the only thing playing. And it was like me and 2 other, who I assume are women, and it was like empty other than that. And I was like, oh.
Oh,
wow,
empty theaters are the best.
Yes.
Isn't the main guy, he's the nephew of the guy that plays Voldemort.
Yes.
He's Ray Fiennes' nephew. It's Hero Fiennes, right? Is his name?
Yeah,
I think his first name is Hero.
Hero played Voldemort also.
Yeah, he played young Voldemort. Yeah.
So you can't
Wait, really?
get past that. Yes, he's little baby Voldemort.
Oh, is he the one in 6 when he visits him at the, like, orphanage?
That explains
Yeah, that's...
the chills I get when I watch the preview for After. Like,
Bitch, that guy is evil.
Is how I reacted the whole movie, except not gagging, just laughing. I sat there laughing through the whole. I texted Coast everything. I was like, "There's another montage. They're playing an Avril
No.
song. What the fuck is happening?" Oh man, that movie was fucking hilarious.
Did Harden get a Harden in the movie?
Yes, he did.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I'm okay with the after movie's existence just for the one clip of Cindy when she's watching the trailer. Is like, what were you dreaming about? And she pauses and she's like, whoa! That just clip of her gagging is just like the best like reaction thing you can get. Somebody needs to clip it and put it as a GIF on Twitter.
Listening to Cindy talk about Cho Chang from Harry Potter, I laughed so hard. I laughed so hard.
hey, Max.
Knox! Yeets myself away. She said she liked that movie. Is it still on Netflix? I might watch it this weekend.
I think it is.
Why? No.
I might watch it.
I want to.
I get so
I
much
want to join in on this.
out of watching it.
Rachel, let's watch it together and we can text each other while we're watching it. I'll make Jeremy give me the TV.
Knox, we're just talking about good quality literature, baby. Like, it's fine. It's terrible. It's real bad.
It's bad. It's awful.
It's
I think
real
she read
I
it.
refused.
So.
Should I read after? Should I read this shit? Like,
Pam, not unless you're going to film a video and post for one.
Shots fired.
Netflix party. Yes.
Netflix party. Let's watch after. Make my husband real uncomfortable.
No, oh my god, you even have to ask. Yes, you can be a Netflix party. Like,
I think for once I'd understand Kelsey for once because it'd be like, this is the least sexy thing I've ever seen in my life. I think I'm just gonna, want to die a sexless husk now.
To anything.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Caleb Joseph when he goes over that movie? That is the best video on YouTube.
That kid is hilarious.
He was insane
that
reader,
kid
right?
is so funny.
I cried. He like
I don't know
Caleb-
who this is.
This was Insane Reader, right?
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he watched
He's
the movie,
hilarious.
but plays it with like horror music, and it works so perfectly.
I watched.
It's so good.
The kid's funny.
I think Andy did a video.
It's my favorite
watching
booktubers, the
after
ones that are like
movie
Yeah,
too.
Andy did too. Andy's
I
so
watched that
funny.
one.
I need to watch that. I'll watch it after I watch the movie this weekend. Jeremy's gonna murder me
Oh,
in
man.
the murder barn.
In the murder barn.
Circle back to the murder
Callback.
barn. Hey,
I just try to post a comment. And it's
so
like,
comedians.
you're having connection issues. And I'm like,
You're the host.
well, and I can see and hear you guys, so I don't know how I'm like receiving you guys, but like posting a text comment is out of the question.
Your computer is censoring you.
What?
It's true. Is that
Yes.
6 armadillos in a trench coat in the background?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Carlos.
Oh, we getting a special guest?
He's busy. He's gaming.
That's what Jeremy's doing too.
I keep forgetting the kids out here. Babe, come here. Come here.
We're just awkwardly waiting.
Come say hi.
Hi, Carlos.
Hey! How's it going?
Hi, friend.
He already canceled Zach on his own stream.
This is Andy. He canceled us at the start of the stream. He canceled out my ability to leave comments.
Oh, God. Tell me why I just wait.
I was in
Because
the
you're
chat.
hilarious, Maddie.
I was in the chat of a live stream Maddie did, and she was like vlogging, so she just pulled up her camera, and I went, and then I realized it's like, oh, so I just typed in the comments, so it's like asterisk waves, asterisk.
I do that.
You ever start screaming?
Or like if I...
You ever start like talking to the TV, and then you realize you're like, oh, I'm not on the stream. Like, they can't hear me.
I was like,
If I'm on a phone call, I forget I'm not on video, and somebody will ask me a question, I just nod, and they're like, are you going to answer? I'm like, oh, you can't see me.
I had a video on earlier, and I was listening to it, but I was putting Writing pajamas on, so I'm like actively doing this while listening. And I was listening, and they said something, and I was like, oh, shut up. And he thinks I'm talking to him, and I'm like, no.
Oh, poor baby. My husband actively yelling at y'all. Maddie,
Good to
you
hear,
and me
Maddie.
need to talk Game of Thrones. We need to talk Game of Thrones.
I will
I need...
never get over it. My anger, my disappointment.
They did my men so dirty. The books lay out the big bad, like who the last big bad is, perfectly. It makes sense.
Men,
But
feminists, they did Brianna Tarth so dirty. So dirty.
yes, but worse, Jamie Lannister. They walked back his entire character development. Well, yes, they did the women dirty too, but the women weren't my favorite characters. I wasn't as invested in them.
Jamie Lannister.
Or Knox, you could finish like 5 other books. Just
Don't listen to him, Knox. The books are wonderful. The books are amazing. They're so good. Just understand that man is probably going to die before he publishes the last 2. I'm just saying.
oh, he's supposed to have
given
2
up on
more,
getting-
not just 1.
This comes up like every.
The Winds of Winter and something spring.
Oh Jesus.
I've given up. I'm going to write my own ending. I have a great idea for a Game of Thrones fanfiction.
If you're gonna do that, can you also finish the King Killer Chronicles? Because you know Patrick Rothfuss isn't gonna fucking do it.
I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say,
Poor
who's gonna
Pat.
get the end first, King Killer or Game of Thrones fans?
King Killer. Unless Pat
Killer.
dies first, which I don't think he will, but
No,
George R. R. Martin's old fucking man.
No, it doesn't matter. George R. R. Martin is more likely to put out the end of Game of Thrones than Patrick Rothfuss is. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about your feelings. He's a meanie.
I think Pat will finish it. I think he will.
I love you like.
Will Scott Lynch ever finish the Gentleman Bastard series? Am I ever gonna get the end to Lies of Locke Lamore? Like, am I ever? No, probably not. Why?
How long has it been?
Huh?
How long has it been since the last one came out?
Republic of Thieves came out 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. Don't get me started on Pat.
Go
I
off.
know.
You go off. You do it. You tell Patrick.
No, I DNF'd
too,
the name
Dea.
of the wind.
Me too.
But it's so good. It's so good. I love it. I just don't see a point in loving it because, yeah. Like, hello, Gosi.
Okay. Okay, here's the thing.
So sad.
I got like halfway through the first book, and like I was like, nothing's happening, and I kind of hate this main character. And people say they all kind of hate the main character. And then I heard even less happens in the second book, which is even longer. So I'm like, so what happens in these 3 gargantuan books if nothing's happening now and less happens in the next book?
Things happen. I need to know who the Chandrian are. I need to know.
Yeah.
Kvothe is a clueless dumbass. That's what happens. But I'm not interested in that for like freaking 200 hours of audiobook.
Kvothe is an unreliable narrator because he gets to narrate his own story. That's the fun part about Kvothe to me. I love that.
So he purposely makes himself sound like a dumbass?
Yep.
Well, he doesn't think that he sounds like a dumbass.
No,
okay,
he thinks that he's brilliant. He thinks he's brilliant.
Yes.
Go see what you're doing, pal. Is there a spider over there? Are you eating a spider? Please don't.
But the world
Please
is
don't do that.
The world is
so
fun.
true. That world is so lush. Ooh. Ooh.
Okay, I guess we'll get into this. I can admit that there's craft in that book, like in the world building and his writing style is very good. Unfortunately, I'm here for a story, and after 15 hours of an audiobook, I didn't get much of anything.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like, my whole thing is like, for people like that, if you're so good at world building, make like a Dungeons and Dragons game. Like, if you write a book, tell me a story, or write a Dungeon Master's Guide if you just want to sit and explore this world you've created.
Ghost, what are you doing?
Sold me so hard for some reason. I don't know why, but for some reason, I'm so interested in knowing how he ends up doing all these things that are listed in the synopsis that I keep reading, even though the majority of them still haven't fucking happened yet.
I just want to know about the Chandrian. Is that a kitty?
This is a kitty.
A cat.
Kitty. What's your kitty's name?
This is Basil.
Basil?
Oh.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, the female characters are mostly garbage, except for what's her thing that he is always in debt to? She's dope, but
I like her.
Denna is the
hate Denna. Somebody kill her.
The fucking
Please tell me she dies. I want her to die in book 3.
I'm telling you, I believe that Denna has something to do with the Chandrian. I'm telling you.
Really?
I believe it in my soul.
That's the only I need to know what the fuck they are. Like, I need to know what Cinder is. Like, I need to know. Ghost, I need you to not do the things that I think you're trying to do.
Nox, 15 hours was the first half. The audiobook's like 32 hours.
Yikes.
For Name of the Wind.
I'm going to be honest,
love
I
Denna.
haven't read this, and I didn't really want to, and you guys are not selling it.
Oh,
yeah.
I love them. I love them. I really do. Their stuff does happen. Okay, like it just happens in its own. I'm totally with you on both. That's why I love him exactly. He's a little turkey.
Stuff certainly
Speaking
happens.
of little turkeys,
Is it what's described on the back of the book? No.
That's what bothered me was like
more. It's
the
more.
book was so big. I thought it was like a standalone until I got like to the halfway point, and I was like, he lists all these great things he does. He just got to college, and I'm like 300 pages into this book,
Mm-hmm.
and then I realized it was like, oh, this is 3 books of this size.
I ate that shit up.
I'm out.
Don't know. Just everything that happens to him is so. Like, I love, what is it called? The Aeolian, where he learns his pipes. I love I love the way that Patrick Rothfuss describes music. Like, he really brings that shit to life. It's really fucking good. And I can really clearly picture every single thing that he describes, like from the school to the people to his different classes and that weird magic. And it's so good. But yeah,
I love Eloden so much.
Nothing that's described on the back of the book actually happens, though, so I keep waiting for that. So, bitch, hi! My husband in the comments, sorry.
He's in the chat.
I can't.
You know, this also describes music, and it has a story in it, and it's 400 something odd pages, and the font's way bigger than Name of the Wind. So,
oh hush! Have any of y'all read The Poppy War?
Not yet.
No.
Oh, that one's good.
Okay.
I've heard it's absolutely
okay. So
brutal.
The character,
but
it is brutal. Yeah. Well, the character is his name Zhang. Her teacher, the lore teacher.
I don't remember their names, but I remember the teacher.
Yeah, that's Eloden from The Name of the Wind. Like, it's almost the same character. Like, Zach shots fired. Indeed. Oh, you'll need to change that.
Poppy War?
The Poppy War. I've read it twice. I reread it recently because I need to jump into book 2 finally because book 3 just came out. It's so good.
Oh, Chanel, you haven't read it? We should buddy read it. Me, you, and Alex.
Trigger warning for everything, though. Like, everything. Everything you think could happen happens. It's like...
It's very brutal.
Like, yeah. It's, like, parts of it are based off of the thing that actually happened in, like, World War II. Like, the 3rd book doesn't come out till... Really? I thought it just released. On Amazon, it said that it released. Did it get postponed because of COVID? Probably.
That might be
I'll have to look.
Yeah, or maybe it got like a sample chapter got released or something.
Well, I don't know, because it showed on Amazon that it got released, but then that it went out of print. You know, the cover. That's so strange. Yeah, from like what I saw, it was supposed to be released in March. But good, I have longer to read The Dragon Republic. Maybe an error. I have no idea. Clearly, I don't know. The author was talking about her.
Night, Yumi.
Hi.
Good night, Yumi.
Does anyone else do this where like you hear about like a trilogy that's really popular or a series, and you're like, I'm gonna wait for the last book to come out, see how everyone reacts to the ending before you start even book 1? Anyone else do this?
I haven't, but I should.
Right? Yeah. Because I kind of feel like that with the Poppy War. I'm just kind of like, I'll wait and see. Plus, like, I got books I gotta read. I got like a stack of library books back here I gotta read. Like, it's a problem, you know?
Yeah.
Well, now that I know it comes out in November, that's my birthday month, so maybe that'll be a birthday present to myself.
Yeah. I gotta read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes or whatever it's called next, and I'm just like, I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to it.
Did you read The Hunger Games?
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been like what, 8-9 years? I read the first two right before the movie came out, and then a friend spoiled me for Mockingjay, so I never went back and read it.
You never read Mockingjay?
No, because it was spoiled for me, so I was like, well, never mind now. Plus, like, I didn't love the second one as much as everyone else seemed to, so, like, to me, I was no rush to read the third one, and then I got spoiled for it, and I was like, well, I guess there's no point now. Like, everyone loves Catching Fire, and it's funny because a lot of people that love it say, like, oh, if you can get past the first half, like, the second half's really good. I actually really enjoyed the first half because it was different, and then the second half I was like, oh, we're just doing this again? Like, I just read that book last week. It was called The Hunger Games. Like, and now you're making me read it again. Why? So, like, I don't know. Everyone else seems to
I like the Hunger Games.
I like the Hunger Games.
I like the Hunger Games, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna read the new one. Like, I was fine with the Hunger Games being the end. Like, I was fine with Mockingjay being the end. Though I am interested in President Snow, like what the story, whole series, Ballad of the whatever, whatever in the book from my friend.
See,
yeah.
Here's the thing, Knox. I feel that if you want, I can fill you in. I read. Has anyone else here read the Lunar Chronicles?
Yep, all except for the last book.
Okay, I haven't read Winter either, but like
I read Winter.
I read Ferris, and I was like, this is like the most dull thing, and I realized, like, I don't know if I really want a whole villain origin book, and that was 200 pages, and now I'm thinking 500 pages of that for basically what amounts to the same thing of, does it really matter how this guy came to power? He's just the big bad he's the face of the big bad. So you know we're going to end the story. So it's like, what are you going to fill 500 pages with? But, I mean, that just might be me. I just might not be one for villain origin stories, but
I love villain origin stories.
I
don't mind
origin
it
stories, but I don't really care for, like, what are they called? Prequels? Because you already know the end. Like, I already know where it goes, so
that's what I'm saying. It's like...
Yeah.
That should have been first. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. No, but I'm kind of interested in Snow. I think he could be a compelling character. And his first name is the name of my favorite Shakespeare play, so that's kind of fun. I don't like prequels.
Yeah. I just... Part of it, too, is, like, I was thinking about this, because I'm, like, I'm trying to... When I go into a book like this, especially if I know I'm going to be talking about it a lot, like all the paper cut books I obviously do, I'm like, okay, what is this book trying to achieve? So when I read it, I can kind of judge it based on that. And it's like, is this a prequel? Is it an origin story of Snow? Like, I just don't really know what it's trying to achieve, really. And, like, because of that, I have a hard time getting, like, interested in even reading it. But, I mean, I'm going to. So, and, like, with good character stories, like, you see the high and then the low. Like, most good character studies end with them in a bad position after their, like, big moment of fame. But that's not going to happen with Snow. Like, unless it's a personal low, which, I mean, could be interesting. But
something made him who he was, so maybe that'll be the interesting part. I don't know. I just, like, I don't know. I just don't have that much of a drive to read it, I guess. Like, I don't want to pay for it. All the libraries have, like, 6-month long holds, so I'd have to pay for it. I'm like, I don't think I want to do that right now.
Yeah. Well, I can let you know how it is.
That I'm more interested in.
And tell you if it is a rush.
Yeah, because I like a good villain.
Yeah, sometimes the stuff you expect to disappoint you ends up being like a surprise favorite, you know? So, I mean, it could surprise me and I'll be here eating my words. I highly doubt it, but it could happen.
Your new favorite book. It's going to be your new favorite book.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I could be like, I'm pleasantly surprised. Rachel, you were like interested in reading it, weren't you? What are you interested in? Like, not trying to come down, you're just legitimately curious.
I really like the games. I think it's really interesting. I really like the politics. So I would really like to see how they started. I would really like to see how they were then versus how they are in Katniss's timeline. I would also just like to see more of the war commentary that she had in the trilogy. So I think she made a really political trilogy, and I want to read more of her doing that. So
Yeah.
do I care about Snow? Definitely not.
That was my whole big thing. Was there was like Hunger Games prequel? Okay, that could be interesting. It's about Snow. Why? Just write about the prequels.
Yeah.
Bye, Claudio. Sorry.
Bye. Oh my God, it's so late where you are.
But yeah, like Dea says here, like I agree. There is things you can explore in those like early days, and it just I don't know, you know.
I'm hoping that it's less about his character and there's more political commentary than there is him. I don't know that that's the case because I haven't read it yet, but that's my hope. Because if there is, then I'll probably enjoy it because I really like that about the series, the original trilogy.
Well, that's what I was saying, like with Catching Fire, because like her trying to like just live in the world and like how the Capitol's trying to like slowly stab at her, like by like doing things for, with Gale and everything, like that was interesting to me. And then you just do another Hunger Games, and it was like, oh, I already read this. I don't need this again.
Yeah, well,
poor Mags.
That book had a lot to say about PTSD. So if you go into it seeing it from that perspective, because you're seeing all of these characters who have already been through games years ago versus Katniss just went through them. And I thought that was really interesting, seeing the different effects that the games had on different people. And that's a lot of war commentary as well. So I guess that like really interested me. But I can see how people would be like, is this the same book twice?
Like I said, yeah.
Yeah. I guess it just depends on how you like go into it. But I went in knowing it was like that, so I went in interested to see that play out. So
yeah,
the clock twist was like a really good one.
I like that. People
I'll give her that.
I think it's a really cool idea. I mean, it didn't need to have that, but it was like a deviation from the first game.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Finnick. Ooh, Finnick. Yeah. So many feelings.
We can't talk about Finnick. We can't do that. We can't talk about Finnick.
Ow.
Can't talk about Finnick.
That's
canceled.
Can't do it. We're done. We're moving on.
I'll cry. I will sit here and cry.
What a fantastic character. She really knew what she was doing writing him. I mean,
Kelsey, you've read Red Rising, right?
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting one, I think, because I've DNF'd it once, and like I keep thinking about trying it again. And like the thing is, I've heard like the space action is really interesting, but like I was having trouble getting with the main character, and I've heard the political intrigue gets a lot better.
It does.
It's good. I like that trilogy.
Oh, have you read it too, Allie?
Oh yeah.
I think me and Kelsey talked about it once, so I asked her specifically.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I feel like the first. I don't know. All the books are the first book is so different when you think about the whole trilogy because it's like all about that school that he's at or that like training facility or whatever. And the rest of the series is all like epic space battles and political intrigue. So it's so different.
The first one, was
I mean, I didn't love the first one.
But Pierce Brown though.
That's what everyone says about Red Rising. You bring it up and everyone's like, oh, Pierce Brown's hot. I'm like, well, I'm not gay, so I'll have
you read Iron Gold? Opinion. Kelsey, have you read Iron Gold?
I've only read the trilogy, the first 3.
Oh, okay. I like Golden Sun.
Knox, Jordan has said she's probably going to pick it for paper cut, so hold off on that, all right?
Oh, that's good to know.
The audiobooks are good, though.
I tried the audiobook, though. That was my thing. And I think, for me, the audiobook is going to be the worst way to go because, like, the guy reading it does a really good job of getting into the character of Darrow. Problem is, Darrow reminds me of like my least favorite version of myself, like 15, 16-year-old Zach. Like that running commentary of I hate the world is so fair, everything is against me. Like it was like the not like the girl's phrase for guys. And so like to be in the character of the head of that character and have him speaking aloud to you was like, oh God, oh, get out. No. So if I read it again, it'll have to be a physical copy because I can't do it.
The one thing that I don't like about the first book and don't like about the trilogy at all is like the inciting incident is the death of a woman. Like,
yeah, that was a big complaint I had.
The male character, and that I don't love. And I think that probably, like, if Pierce Brown went back, he'd probably change it just a little bit. Like, I don't think he would fall on that trope because it's just so dumb and shitty and like yes, that Deadpool did it. Oh, my phone's dying. Excuse me, I'm gonna go get my power cord.
Well, I mean, did Deadpool do it? Is that in Deadpool 2? Because they didn't kill the wife of Deadpool.
Deadpool did it
Technically, it was Deadpool
to be like.
Okay, I would say Deadpool 1. She makes it to the end. I haven't seen the second one, so.
Yeah, the second movie makes like commentary on the whole idea of bridging. They do it, and then at the end they're like, haha, bridging, let's talk about it. And then the movie's over. It's really weird.
I've heard mixed reviews of the second one, so I was just like, I'm just going to stick with the first one.
I did not like it.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, like, fridging the wife is, like, another one, like, as a guy, I hate the idea of, like, the only way we can get this male character to be politically active and to do the right thing is to make him want revenge. Like, I kind of find that insulting, which is why I really hate fridging the wife. And then two, like, at least with Red Rising, like, I found the wife to be a really likable character and wanted to see more of her, and suddenly just, bam, she's gone. And I'm like, and you know,
yeah,
it's always obvious to me they're never doing the right thing because it's the right thing. They're doing it because they want revenge, and it's like, I
guess the one thing I can say in defense of Red Rising is Darrow didn't know anything was wrong with the world until his wife died. But
his wife was trying to tell him, from what I remember. And he was all like, "Mah."
You know, I can't recall. I would have to reread it. I just know that when Darrow, like, started his transformation, it's like he had no fucking idea how messed up this world was. Like, he had no idea all these different levels of politics and all of the people high above them. Like, the people on Mars didn't even know that they were subjugated. Nope. They thought they were helping.
Yeah. But like I said, I think the wife seemed to know more than she was letting on, and he would not listen to her, from what I remember. But it's been like a year and a half, 2 years since I tried it, so I mean, I might be wrong. Maddie, I also agree with this.
Yeah.
He talks like a 40-year-old man and a 16-year-old at the same time.
So 16 would be like midlife.
Boom, she did.
Boom, she did.
Oh, Maddie, did you read the rest of the trilogy? Because that's the thing, like, people bring up the fridging, and I'm like, wow, it gets worse.
Yeah.
You're really selling it, Kelsey. Oh, you couldn't get past this one thing?
Great, though.
Read on, because it's gonna piss you off even more.
Well, that's the thing, is like, I don't even like Darrow. I could give a shit about Darrow. I love
Severo.
The Howlers. I love the Howlers.
I can read for Severo.
Is this like a Grisha situation where like the side character is really good? It's just that you have to sit through the main character being insufferable to get to them.
He's pretty insufferable. He's very I don't know what to call it. High and mighty. He's very
14-year-old Zach.
You'd like Severo though.
Severo
you would really.
Great,
I think
though.
you would like. I think you would like Severo a lot. I love Goblin.
See, but this is the thing, Chelsea. Like, when I read this, I might just because like I knew it was
Cryptic
dystopian,
bit,
so like
yeah.
obviously I'm gonna believe the wife. But when a male character is being talked to by his wife or girlfriend, and she's like trying to tell him something, and he writes her off until she's dead, it pisses me off because I'm like, why does no male character in these books trust their wife or girlfriend, or like at least entertain what they have to say? Like, okay, you think something's wrong? Show me. What do you have to say? Like, they never take them seriously until they're dead, which is why I hate it. Because it's like,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah,
I know
that's
there's
fair.
nothing like that in real life, but I like to think at least some men
It's bull.
would listen to their wife or girlfriend if they were like, hey, there's something wrong. Like, what do you mean?
You would think so, Zach. You would think so. No, my husband, I think, I was going to say my husband listens to me, but no, I don't. I tell him stuff all the time.
I'm sorry, Chanel.
I need to reread it.
I've never read it.
I love the Darkling.
I bet I would love The Darkling. I have no doubt. I've never even read those books. I already love The Darkling.
I'm not going to do it today. I'm not going to do it today.
Corey
I
and
have a
Don't do
thing
it
for
today.
Villains. I really do.
Iggy, I
Kelsey, you and me need to talk.
decide on
Well,
a
you
book
love
idea,
Ruthless
but
Gods, right?
all three of the ones I'm
love that
entertaining.
shit.
What?
Just give me
You loved what?
Malachi all the time. Ruthless Gods.
Oh, I'm dead. I got Rachel to read Wicked Saints because I just won't shut the fuck up about it.
I loved it.
And I got her Ruthless Gods because I'm like, you have to read it.
It's like,
No, Malachi Malachi's just the love of my life.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 18 years old, so I'm a dirty old lady, but I love him.
I mean, technically, he, you
would love
has a
it.
demon soul, so.
You're right. He's immortal. Well, not really. I don't know. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Book 3
So there's some weird stuff happening.
Mal is bland, but the Darkling is
I guess
just.
I don't know enough about. I have this thing where whenever there's like a villain romance, I always want the main character to go evil. So if I read Shadow and Bone, I'm sure I would just want Luna to go bad and be with the Darkling. Like, that's what I want.
Have you read Furyborn?
No, well, I'm adding it to the list.
I'm halfway through it. I swear to God, I'm going to finish it this year. And
everybody's like, I want to go in romance. I want the Darkling. I want Alina to go bad. Nobody reads Furyborn. Nobody reads it. Man.
so, to me, Nadia and Malakiash are
I'm sorry,
more...
Furyborn is $0 on Kindle Unlimited right now. $0.
Ma'am,
Just
it
gonna
is
get this shit right
fine.
now.
It is the fine.
I'm going to get this shit right now.
Taylor Swift, read the book. True. It's true. It is true.
But like Nadia and Malakiash remind, like, it's not so much enemy to lovers as it is enemies that stay enemies and make out every now and then.
I just love, like,
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the conversation keeps moving on, and Allie keeps coming back with this like same.
I am
to get
to
out
Malakiash. Shut up.
over again.
I'm getting it out. I was waiting my turn. I know how to be patient.
It's just funny because I've heard you start this like line of thought like 3 times, and then there's
I'm very patient.
so
I'm very patient.
you can tell.
I am a serial interrupter. I'm so bad about it.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I was the youngest of all of my cousins, so like story of my life.
Same. That's why I like
Except-
this.
They would and except they like would leave me on the roof to get like.
I plan on reading 100,000 Kingdoms because the game is so fucking good. Well, that's a thing.
Oh, I'm immediately adding that to my wish list.
You slut.
That's all you had to say. Like, you got me. I'm here.
You guys know that like
But
thing that's going around on book Twitter, the like post your own popular opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a way to word it, but I wanted to put like, if y'all got with these male leads that y'all thirst over, y'all be divorced in like a month. Like every time I hear like,
They're dead.
Dead. We'd be Zach.
We'd be dead. Like,
well, like it was like, oh, the dark, oh, so from the Mortal Instruments. I'm like, from everything I know, he would make a terrible, terrible husband.
I don't know how many times I've had to say it. My my taste in fictional men is very different from my taste in actual men. Now, not so much in college and high school. I really did like trash guys in college and high school. But my husband is wonderful. But my fictional taste is awful.
Honestly, I was trash in high school, but yes, I ended up with a really nice dude.
I was about to say, you've been with Carlos since high school.
Listen, that does not negate the fact that I was trash.
Technically, I'm living my hate to love romance. My relationship started out hate to love. That's how we ended up married. So I'm living my own trope. Cinnamon roll boy. Aww.
I've thought about this. How great would it be to take like
Make a series.
or like the Hunger Games, take any of these where they have like the charming bad boy lead, make a follow-up series where it's showing domestic life afterwards and how much they hate each other like 5 years later.
Just write
Do not read that book.
Just write your own fan fiction. Do it. Do it.
No, because I don't have like anytime I hear like people look at the Dark Leg, I'm instantly just like so I'd have to actually like
You can't write one about the Darkling.
I also like really like soft cinnamon roll boys. Like I like either or. Just get rid of all the bland ones.
True.
Mouth and
Here's the
normal.
thing,
I never like the cinnamon rolls in fiction.
how
I
often
do. I want girls that stab
Husband.
people and boys that are like stop, but they don't listen. So basically, I just want Kel and Lila from the Shades of Magic series.
The girls that I'm into
Yeah.
are not any better than the dudes that I'm into in books, honestly.
Trick is a
That's
cinnamon
true.
roll that will stab you, which is why we stand. Trick is a cinnamon roll that will stab you, which is why we stand. These relationship would end on fire. No, that's true. Like someone would get set on fire.
I feel like most people have like a cinnamon roll character they like, but like when you go on book Twitter and you see like a thirst thread, it's always for the bad boy ones. It's always for Peta. It's the Darkling. It's whatever his name is from the Mortal Instruments. Like it's always those characters that I'm like,
Who are you talking about from the more? Are you talking about Jace?
I guess.
Oh, Jace can choke.
That's the thing. There's thirst threads about those same characters, and I'm like, these are the type of men you rally against about how much you hate, and then they're in a book, and suddenly everyone's like, ooh. And I'm like,
The
Because they
thirst
can't
trap
actually
from
hurt
the
you.
what?
the thirst trap from the Shadow Hunters. That's Magnus Bane. That's where it's at. Magnus Bane is where it's at. Thank you, Rachel. I mean,
I don't know those.
I don't even. I like Will Herondale's fine, but Magnus Bane though. I love me some Magnus Bane. I'm sorry, I just imagined a cinnamon roll the trend. Somebody draw that. Magnus can get it. Yes, every time.
Yep.
My girlfriend can be a little.
I agree. Once
Stab.
in a while.
Rachel.
You broke Rachel. Jace is awful. Maggot, thank you. Yay, I have found my people.
Isabel Lightwood can get it. That is correct. Mm-hmm.
Will Herondale, you can have Will Herondale. That's fine.
His
As
name
long
is-
as Magnus Bane is mine. Magnus is mine. No, Will Herondale's fine.
I don't
But
know.
really,
I can't tell you.
out of Will, I'm talking to Maddie. Out of Will and Gemzo, I'm with Gem. I'm all about Gem Carstairs. I love him. Will Herondale's okay.
Wanted to end in polygamy.
Wait, Zach, who's your book crush? Like, we have all said ours.
That's a good point.
Who is
Yeah, Zach.
Zach?
He's looking. Is it a Mira Grant character?
No. No,
Is it Mira?
They all die.
it was not Mira.
Mira Grant.
It's a little old for me. Maddie, do you remember who ends up with Wave Waker in Dark Dawn? Is it Bryn?
Mm-hmm.
I liked Bryn.
It was Bryn, yeah. I liked Bryn.
I like Sumi from Every Heart. Has anyone read Every Heart a Doorway?
Not yet.
Yep.
Yeah, the one who was like super dark but also kind of peppy. Like that was like she was funny. Seems like she'd be like a fun person to be.
Dark and peppy. That's Zach's type. Dark and peppy.
Manic pixie goth girl.
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, cool.
I mean, sadly, most books I read don't have great female characters. So like,
I think you're gonna like Delilah Bard.
This is why we need feminism.
It is.
This is it.
I think he's gonna like Delilah Bard a lot.
I always
Like,
think people are gonna like her.
Inequality.
So, not just talking about a boy with a boat. I'll take the main character from the Wicked Thieves, a girl with a boat and a lighthouse. That'd be a good life. That
Have a
might be it.
lighthouse. Bitches love lighthouses.
Bitches love it. Honestly, though, I really do. Like, lighthouses are my aesthetic. So,
Same. I wrote a book around that kind of aesthetic.
thank you, Nox.
Penny is great. Penny is great.
No, absolutely fucking not. The mermaids are guys. Like, no.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot that.
I need to read Into the Drowning Deep. Zach crushes are practical. Lighthouses and shit, that's super practical.
We're marrying for property here.
That's my thing.
Damn.
That's the whole, like, I don't think like Allie, and I'm not like, it's not a superior thing, but like, if I'm attracted to a character in a book, it's usually because it's someone I'd like actually like to be with, like in real life.
No. Not
So,
me.
like-
I'm the opposite.
Yeah,
Except
no,
Magnus
that's what I'm
Bane.
saying. So like,
He's
I-
actually a
that's why,
good person.
all these characters everyone's thirsty for, like I'm just like, why would you want to be with them though?
Yeah,
Like,
see, if I'm attracted to somebody in a book, it's normally because I'm attracted to danger. So, yeah.
I did
There
say
is-
this.
The one character, okay, in this book that I love called The Last Son.
Leave
None of
him
you have
alone.
read, I'm sure. But this character is like, his name is Adam, and he's just fucking nice, and he...
What did that say? He gets married for taxes? For the taxes?
Get a break.
Sorry, Kelsey, what were you saying?
Just this one character, like the only character I've ever liked that I think I would also like in real life. And he's just like sweet and nice, and he like takes this other guy on dates, and they go out to dinner, and he buys them like chocolates and gives them flowers, and it's just like the sweetest shit. I'm like, okay, you can stay.
What book was it from? You did he say?
It's The Last Son by Katie Edwards.
Ah, okay.
The
I
last one.
yell about it all the time, so I'm sure you'll hear about it again.
Allie,
What
what's
is
the
the
crush for
question?
that a little danger? A potential wife?
Who needs it?
Says the married woman.
I mean, Rachel's married. She's married to another guy too.
I know. You're the one with the
Poor
bad cushion,
Jeremy.
though, so we got to tease you about it.
Yeah, but Rachel like she likes bad characters in general. Doesn't matter the gender.
That is accurate, yeah.
Me, I'm specifically trash for bad men for some reason. Except Magnus Bane, I'll say it again, he's wonderful. Would marry him in real life.
See, he's a good character.
And
Like, we like nice people who don't murder sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes.
Magnus has probably murdered. He is a warlock, but you know, it's probably for a good reason.
So I just thought of two, but they kind of come with asterisks for me. I I thought, is it Zoya from the Grisha trilogy?
Oh,
I feel like, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't feel like she's ever really done anything wrong, and she seems like a pretty strong, dependable person. And Alina just fucking, like, her internal monologue against her is like, she's the worst. And I'm like, she's like never done anything.
oh, Zach, read King of Stars. That was the best part of it, was listening to Zoya talk.
Okay, and I was gonna say, I don't know if this is just because she told off her like caretaker, but the girl from the Night Circus, I was like, fucking thank you.
Oh,
Isn't it Cecilia? I think her name's Cecilia. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Cecilia or just Celia, one of the two. Why, Maddie?
Do I hate her? Aww. I love
Why?
the Night Circus.
No, I think she's talking about.
Oh. I think I can say what Rachel's like ultimate like fictional character would be, that she would marry them in a heartbeat.
Who?
Nina.
Mean.
Look, she got all giddy. She got all giddy.
It's just, you know,
Nina's like the love of her life.
I thought you were going to say a dude and I couldn't think of a single person, but yeah.
No, Nina. What is that dude? No, of course it's Nina.
Nina,
I know you.
Yeah, Rachel, don't even front.
Get her.
I love her.
I get her. She just wants to make waffles for her and just like live happily ever after.
So many waffles. Oh, I love her.
Rachel's gonna be a housewife, just be the best waffle cook.
I would be
Uh,
fantastic for Nina. You have no idea. I love her so much.
she does.
Oh,
I feel like if I was like, you know, because I like Inej from that series, but I feel like if I was married to Inej, she'd be like, I'm gonna do this for work. I'd be like, I don't want to know any details. Just go and come back, please. Like,
and she would.
I would be like, my anxiety would be so bad. After a while, I'd be like, just say you're going to work. No details.
Not.
I don't need to know who you stabbed today.
Well, no, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, scale a furnace. Honey, I'm a little worried about you.
You're so funny. Honey, we don't have good insurance.
Yeah. Because I got the diabetes, so our insurance
cover
little,
heist.
we have a really high deductible, sweetie. I can't have you like having a huge hospital bill.
So Zach had a really good idea for a video about Nina. Are you still doing that? Hopefully, yes.
Which one?
We would love to see it, and by we, I mean myself.
What's happening?
Oh, Nina, wow. Rox has a really good Nina video idea, and I've been like waiting.
Okay. Keeping it network.
Zach is not
Zach is not going to jail. He does not want to know nothing. Don't tell me nothing. Yeah, next. Knox said next month.
Yeah, everyone's curious now, Nox. You got us all spellbound as to what this idea is.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it?
I want to know this idea, yeah.
Let's see if she'll drop in the chat.
No, don't spoil it.
Oh, don't. Never mind. Allie doesn't want to know, so you got to message everyone else individually. Thanks for making a bunch of extra work for her, Allie.
Look, I get told all the time, like, I'm glad Cheyenne's not here because she would just gripe at me and be like, you don't want to be spoiled. Like, I would just be, because I accidentally ruined the Grisha trilogy for her. She said, be right back. Probably a child in need.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Her kids are so cute.
All right, this is kind of an interesting topic to talk about. Like the last thing we'll do before we head out for the night.
Slightly dislikes me. Chanel.
Like, do you guys have a hate for insta-love? Because I find like that's the biggest thing, and I guess it's just because like the type of books I read. But I'm like, you have 400 pages, you have an intricate plot, you have world building, you have a bunch of characters introduced. Like, love's kind of got to happen abridged. So like it never bothers me, but like tons of people are like
It
they
depends.
had insta love. I'm like,
I feel
well,
like I haven't read a book with real insta love in a long time. Like it was a much bigger thing in like the early 2010s. And
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
gotten a lot better.
It didn't bother me as much when I was younger, because I actually think for younger people it's a little more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're like a teenager, like, do you remember like just falling for someone so quick and it just like, or I do, I don't know, maybe I was just a
I
trash
do.
can when I was 16. But yeah, I think we were probably all trash cans when we were 16. But people also
That's
compete.
true.
Yes. Yeah, and you learn that as you get older, though. Like in real life, this is the stop sign. Do not slander insta love. No, I'm not. I think that when we're younger, we don't really know the difference between true like love and what it takes to have a sustainable relationship versus infatuation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I think that in some cases, insta love is really realistic. And in like Strange the Dreamer, people say that that's like really insta lovey, and I didn't mind it. Like I liked it. I love Strange the Dreamer.
Well, what I did.
So Zach froze.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Sorry, I
no,
dropped for
you're
a second.
back.
Okay.
You're back.
When did I stop?
Your mouth was hanging open, so we didn't
Okay.
hear a word you said.
Okay. So when I did my guilty pleasure video, Cindy was saying Scarlet was a guilty pleasure for her because of the insta love, and it was like it's a short YA book, and like they were introducing other characters and expanding a world. So I'm like, it's kind of got to be abridged. Like I guess if you're reading a romance book where the whole point is the building of a relationship, I understand that. But in terms of fantasy, in terms of sci-fi, like there's just a lot going on. So I kind of like it's never bothered me. So it just makes me laugh. Like that's like the thing that gets all this like vitriol. It's people like the romance happened fast, and I'm like, yeah, you have 400 pages.
Yeah,
You got to
I
make them
also
count.
feel like there's a defense in like fantasy novels where super intense situations like amplify your feelings. Like that's another thing that happens.
That's true. I think the only book that I've read, well, insta love for food, yeah. I think that the only book that I've read where the love interest or whatever is what turned like it literally like lowered the star rating. I loved the book because it was really different, but just the love interest. It was Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Like, loved that book, but that didn't make no sense to me. Not at all. And that was super insta-lovey. But like, but I think that's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that I'm like, I did not like that insta-love.
I guess like
instance.
The only one that bothered me was Wool, which is a dystopian we read for Paper Cut, and that was just because like they passingly meet each other, and then it's like all they're thinking about throughout the rest of the book, and you don't. And supposedly they're like calling each other on the phone, but you never see it. But like most of the time when people are like insta love, I'm like they spend the majority of the book going through this adventure together. Like it makes sense for that. When they like passingly meet and suddenly are attached, like that's one thing, but it's usually not the case for the things I've heard people complain about. So
yeah, I get it.
I don't know. It's just
it doesn't bother me that much.
It's like I just hear that all the time. Like Nevernight, I think when people say that is like the time passes with Trick and Mia.
I don't think there's insta love in Nevernight anywhere. Like
that's what I'm telling you.
I disagree. Well, it's freaking stupid.
Yeah, they started throwing Romeo and Juliet quotes in there.
Oh God, I hate it.
Oh, it was
okay.
Beautifully awful.
I could rant about Romeo and Juliet for an hour, so I'm just gonna not. But it is not the greatest love story ever told. Just gonna
Okay,
say that.
1 hour starting now. Go.
It's not a love story.
Oh, yeah.
It shouldn't be taught to teenagers as a love story. It is about two minors that can. Trick falls in love for the girl for.
I'm trying to come up with like Kunsta love.
Essentially. Oh no. Oh, that's bad.
My teacher taught Romeo and
Tricky.
Juliet straight as a love story, not as a parody, and was straight up like, "Oh yeah, it's all the guy's fault," and like, it's both their fault.
It's a tragedy. It's not. It's.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't. I can't with
It's a
Romeo and
comedy.
Juliet.
You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet is funny.
There has been that argument actually that it was meant to be a comedy, but
It's like a tragic comedy,
It's-
like black comedy of its day.
yeah,
Yeah, I always joke.
I prefer Much Ado About Nothing.
It's almost like a Mel Brooks scene. I don't know if you guys watch any Mel Brooks movies, but like
Mhm.
Juliet gives this like long speech about like our families are warring. This is never going to work. This can't work. Like you're fine, but this won't work. And he's like, "But you're hot though." And she's like, "All right, yeah." It's like, is this a
Basically.
parody? Like, what is this? Like, even in 9th grade, I was like, that wasn't an argument. And she just bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Ridiculous. So, I just
You
don't
guys know-
understand teaching
you guys know
children.
The stare meme where it's like
Yes,
jumping
I
to
love
conclusion. Someone put that. It was like checking to see if she's dead. Just waiting a minute, like, and it was like jumps to poison yourself.
Yep. But I will never understand teaching a classroom full of 15-year-olds that this is the greatest love story ever told to people that end up dying by suicide at the end. Why are you telling teenagers this is a good idea?
I think your teachers are just bad at teaching English. I feel like that's what
Don't
it
do
is.
that. It's bad.
My teacher
Don't.
definitely taught it as a comedy tragedy. She explained all of the funny
But
shit
my
to us
teacher-
because we were dumb. So she had to like translate it into modern English so we would understand why it was funny.
It's not. That's because Chelsea. That's because it's not.
Okay.
See, that was my college professor because I took a Shakespeare class in college, and that's how she taught it, Kelsey. But my high school English teacher taught a room full of 15-year-olds that it was the greatest damn love story ever told, and I was like, I disagree.
I think your high school teacher needed therapy.
Poor
Honestly,
Miss Moreland.
it is bad.
You're an English teacher? Yeah, that's cool.
No, I think she's saying if she was an English teacher, she'd be like, this
Oh, okay.
is
I'm sorry, I don't know who Dea is, so I don't know.
she's
Wait,
cool.
did she say she... Did they say they were in high school? Is that the person that said earlier they were still in high school? You're clearly not an English teacher for still in high
That's
school.
Claudia. That's Claudia.
Oh, okay. Claudia.
Um,
Okay. I'm getting confused. I'm also very sleepy.
I'm waiting for Rachel to come
Yeah.
back to wrap this up and her not just come back to a blank screen. I was
I
gonna
would
say
feel douchey if we did that.
Mercutio's death is probably the worst character death ever because he was like the one tiny sliver of light in this whole play, and then he died, and I was like, no, you can't leave me alone, Mercutio. It's like, yeah, it was a tragedy. Like my last brain cell died with Mercutio that day, and I realized I had half of the play left, and no Mercutio to get me through. So
What is y'all's favorite Shakespeare play that you've read?
I've only read 3, and my favorite is Julius Caesar.
Yeah,
It's a good
I've only read the one, Romeo and Juliet.
Oh,
I've seen like adaptations of other ones, but I've never read them. Like I saw
well, that counts. Like that's how it's meant to be. You're meant to watch them, not just read them. Yeah, so that
I
counts.
don't remember them as much as I remember the one I read though, which is weird because I saw them more recently than Romeo and Juliet. But there's like they're in a park and there's fairies.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's it.
I need to make
I
a
love that
retraction.
one.
Dea actually is a teacher. My bad, Dea.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Maddie's
That's
got some
awesome. I
recommendations
almost
for you.
What to Do
I've
is
also
great.
seen Twelfth Night.
I haven't seen Twelfth Night or Taming of the Shrew, but I love Midsummer and I love Much Ado About Nothing.
I have seen The Lion
Othello's
King,
great.
so that counts as one, right?
Hamlet, Macbeth, and Coriolanus are my favorite three.
Macbeth's the other one I've read. So
I love Macbeth so much.
my teacher had me read it in 8th grade. 8th grade was a weird year for me. We read Macbeth. We read The Crucible by Arthur Miller, which that one made a little more sense to me, given some of the context about like slander and like things attached to your name, and like with middle school gossip, like that one really spoke to me. And the last thing we had to read was Night by Elie Wiesel, the real life account of a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah, I remember that one. 8th grade.
As an 8th grader, I was like, way to traumatize us. Like, I know you have to learn
I
about
read
it,
The Hobbit.
not in 8th grade. You know?
Did you read,
We had to read The Hobbit.
Wave?
The what?
The Wave is what it was called.
No.
And it was supposed to. We read it like with Night by Elie Wiesel because it was all about how easy it was to get people to join the Nazi party. But it was like set in a high school, and it was all these high schoolers like making their own club with like very vague rules about how to do things, and basically starting a huge cult.
Iggy. Oh.
So we learned that at the same time as Night, and it was just like a dark time for the 8th graders.
Seriously, dang.
Yeah.
Daya, what grade do you teach?
Sophomore year makes sense, personally.
I never had to read that one, but my high school was itty bitty.
It's
I think it's worth reading. Yeah.
Hard to read, but it's the greatest book I've ever read. Like if people say, "What's one book everyone should read?" Everyone should read Night by Elie Wiesel.
I had to read The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. I read that in college, and it's a Holocaust novel, and it's really good. It's a true story about a Christian that hid Jews, and she ended up in Ravensbrück with her family. It's really good.
It seems like every time I Google it, it's a different answer with Night, but like sometimes they say it's a novel based on his experiences, and other times it's his recount of his actual experiences. But either way, he survived the death camps and wrote a book about it. And it's like with all the Holocaust deniers and everything going around, like it's like everyone needs to read this because you can't deny this shit. You know?
Yeah.
Hey Rachel, welcome back.
We're talking about the Holocaust in Shakespeare.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I had to read a book about the Holocaust in 8th grade, the real life account of a Holocaust survivor. And Iggy says this is why I'm the way I am because of these experiences. So.
Okay.
So we want to end on that question. One book everyone should read. Do you have one?
Oh my god.
Since I said mine.
A book everyone should read.
Here you go, Allie.
From 10 to 18-year-olds. Oh, cool. I don't know what EFL means.
I'm pretty sure it's English as a foreign language.
Oh, okay. But we call that ESL here.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
That's cool.
On
Never
brand, Maddie. I read Animal Farm, yeah.
Hated that book.
I hated it at the time.
It and then pretended that I read it.
It's slowly grown on me, and I think it's a lot because Pink Floyd did an album based on it, but over time my feelings have softened on that one.
That sounds like you.
Yeah.
Rachel's going to say Furyborn.
I'm really trying not to.
I think most people expect either a Jay Kristoff novel from me or Wicked Saints.
Pig from Animal Farm.
I guess I would say maybe Girls on the Verge by Sharon Biggs Weller. I think that's a really timely book. It's good. It's got female friendships, and it's also about the reproductive rights issues, particularly in Texas, but all across America, and what people with uteruses are facing, and I think it's really important and also really sweet.
I don't. God, this is
so hard.
Yes, it's like I've forgotten every book I've ever read.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm on my Goodreads right now.
But yeah,
I'm looking at the shelves like, I think right now, a really good book to read just, like, for fostering empathy, it's called Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert. And it deals with a lot of issues, which include mental health, racism, kind of discovering your sexuality. Like, it's kind of just everything. And I think that it'd be a really good read right now for kids, particularly. I really liked that one.
All right.
But I'm going to say Wicked Saints.
I'm going with Aristotle and Dante. Discover the Secrets of the Universe.
Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I love that.
I'd say one book that I think should be required reading in high school is The Hate You Give.
Yeah.
It's a really good book.
They banned that in some high schools in Texas.
Let me guess. Yeah, I was gonna say all the southern states, right?
Probably. But yeah, The Hate You Give.
The Crucible, I think, would be a good, if I'm doing a fiction book. The Crucible, I think, a lot of kids didn't take it seriously when we read it, but like, I personally think it's a really good message. You know.
I want to see the play.
We didn't read it. I feel like in my high school, we didn't read any modern literature. It was all classics. And I don't know why.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had to read The Yearling. Have y'all ever heard of The Yearling?
Mm-mm.
It's all about a baby fucking deer. A novel this thick. That son of a bitch was like 800 pages, and it was all about fucking deer. I hated that book. And then we had to read Hemingway, A Farewell to Arms. Also fuck Hemingway. Hated that book. And The Great Gatsby. Also fuck The Great Gatsby.
I love The Great Gatsby.
Oh. I would like to reread it as an adult and see if I get anything more from it than I did when I was 15. Because when I was 15, I fucking hated it.
I feel like it is better as an adult.
Anyone else read Lord of the Flies?
I tried. As a teen and did not like it.
Lord of the Flies in high school and I hated it, and then I reread it last year and actually liked it.
I hated it. I read it in 10th grade.
I want to try it and see it because I didn't like classics when I was a teenager, except for The Hobbit. But reading them as an adult, like A Separate Piece, was my most hated book.
Okay, I read A Separate Piece my freshman year, and I barely remember it, but it was gay, right? That's not just my distorted memory. That shit was gay.
No idea.
Subtextually, like.
Never read it.
I wouldn't know.
I'm gonna have to reread it and find out.
Yeah, The Giver was required reading, and I liked that. Buffy Hinton. I had to read The Outsiders, and That Was Then and This Is Now.
Yeah, I've read.
I had to read 2. Zach, you sent me That Was Then and This Is Now because I didn't have my own copy.
Yep.
That's my favorite book of hers. Like, I loved that freaking book. Mm-hmm. And damn, it was dark too. Like, and so was the Outsiders is pretty dark too. And I had to read that. I love them. Rumblefish too. That was a good one. All of her books are good.
Any hated
She's
books
kind
from
of a
high
trash
school,
can, but
Rachel? Yeah, I've heard that.
Rachel looks as sleepy as I am.
Sorry, what was the question? I am.
Hated required reading.
See, I always get this question, and I don't know because I didn't have a very good high school. And we did not have a lot of required reading in my high school at all. The only thing I remember reading, I can't even remember the name of it. It was old. And then we watched the movie, and there was like no commentary because my English teacher, what a character. I can't get into it right now.
Do you remember what it was about?
Witches.
Or anything about it?
Burning witches.
Witches.
Yes. Or
The Crucible.
Oh yeah, it was the Crucible, wasn't it?
It was the Crucible.
Yeah, if you read that as a teenager and no one walked you through what that book is really about, yeah, that book is baffling. Because you're like, what? They hated witches, what? Because there's the whole subtext about McCarthyism and everything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, definitely would not have gotten that as a high schooler.
yeah, I mean, like, I think that was my thing. Was like I paid attention when my teacher talked to me about what these things were, and no one else did. So when we watched the movie, everyone was like, "Oh, they're so overdramatic," and I'm like, "Are you paying
It's a
attention
play,
to what they're saying, though?" Yeah. Well, there's a movie version of it, which is really good, but
it's got Daniel Day-Lewis in it, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun story about that one. At the beginning of the book, they're like doing witchcraft, and one girl like drops her dress. And in 8th grade, I remember seeing that. And then after he showed us that scene, he made us get permission slips to watch a PG-13 movie. And we're like, well, we already saw what the PG-13's about. So fast forward 3 years, I'm in junior year of high school, and we read it again, and we're gonna watch the movie. And I'm thinking, like, I was in 8th grade, like, you know, I was just going through puberty. I'm like, surely this is not as explicit and like as sexual as I remember it. Oh no, it was exactly as I remembered it. And my English teacher, because we were the first period of the day, goes, I didn't realize that was in there. So
all the
like,
boobies.
I was like, I could have warned you, but I
Me and
didn't.
Rachel are about to pass out.
Oh, sorry, I'm on the wall here. As soon as it hits midnight, I'm like,
All right, well, we'll end
That's
it.
kind of
So
me right now.
thanks everyone for joining us, and
yes, you.
I'll be back eventually. I don't know, maybe next weekend, maybe 2 months from now. But
This was fun.
we'd like to thank my lovely hosts for joining me, and thank you all for joining us in the chat. And good night, everyone. Hit the button.